His first day in A&E goes wrong. Emmerdale spoilers follow. Emmerdale's Jacob Gallagher is officially reprimanded on his first day working in A&E next week. Jacob finds himself in trouble for breaking the rules when a patient's admission at the hospital links to a mystery that's close to home. The medical student is about to start a work experience placement in A&E, which is explored in a special standalone episode of the ITV soap. Things start off well for Jacob when his supervisor Dr. Todd briefs him on his first day. Jacob is eager to please, but his optimism turns to concern when a stabbing victim is brought into the hospital. Jacob notices that the patient has April Windsor's purse in their possession. He immediately panics and calls April's father, Marlon Dingle, who has been desperate for answers over his daughter's mysterious disappearance. Dr. Todd reprimands Jacob for breaking protocol by contacting Marlon and makes it clear that this was unacceptable. By this point, the damage has already been done, as Marlon and his wife Rona Goskirk arrive at the hospital to seek some answers. A nurse steps in to give them some devastating news. Meanwhile, Sarah Sugden is also brought into the hospital in a drunken state. Charity Dingle accompanies her granddaughter to A&E, and there's panic all around when Sarah collapses. Jacob steps in to help Sarah, but also issues some tough words over the impact of her irresponsible behavior. Sarah makes a confession to Jacob. Will this bring them closer together after the recent chemistry between them? Producer Sophie Roper said at the time, "When Jacob first embarked on his aspirations of having a medical degree, we knew at some point we wanted to show a day in his life. In this episode, we step away from our usual environs of the village and head to the hospital. This episode takes place entirely on our purpose-built hospital set. Accident and emergency is a place many of our characters end up in, but seldom by choice. As the episode unfolds, Jacob will encounter some challenging situations that also affect some of our Emmerdale villagers, pushing Jacob to his limits both professionally and personally." Emmerdale airs Jacob's special episode on Thursday, January 2 on ITV1 and ITVX. You can also check out our collection of 10 spoiler pictures for a full look at the new Gallagher's first day working in the accident and emergency department of the village hospital was supposed to be a significant milestone in his medical training, but it quickly turned into a disaster. The young medical student's eagerness to please and enthusiasm for learning were palpable, but his actions were soon to be called into question. The day began on a positive note as Jacob's supervisor, Dr. Todd, briefed him on the procedures and protocols of the hospital. However, things took a turn for the worse when a stabbing victim was brought into the hospital. Jacob was tasked with assisting with the patient's treatment, but he soon found himself getting distracted by a personal matter. As he was examining the patient, Jacob noticed that they had April Windsor's purse in their possession. His mind immediately went back to April's mysterious disappearance, which had been a source of concern for the entire village. Without thinking, Jacob called April's father, Marlon Dingle, to inform him about the situation. Dr. Todd was furious when she discovered what Jacob had done. "Breaking protocol is not acceptable, Jacob," she scolded him sternly. "You need to remember that as a medical professional, you have to maintain confidentiality and follow procedures at all times." However, by this point, the damage had already been done. Marlon and his wife Rona had arrived at the hospital, seeking answers about April's disappearance. A nurse delivered some devastating news to them, leaving them stunned and distraught. Meanwhile, Sarah Sugden was brought into the hospital in a drunken state, causing panic among the medical staff. Charity Dingle accompanied her granddaughter to A&E, worried about her condition. As Jacob helped Sarah, he also issued some tough words about the impact of her irresponsible behavior. Sarah's confession to Jacob about her past mistakes and fears left them both stunned. The chemistry between them had been palpable in recent episodes, and it seemed that this conversation might bring them closer together. However, only time will tell if their newfound understanding will lead to a romantic relationship. According to producer Sophie Roper, the episode was designed to showcase Jacob's growth as a character and his struggles with the demands of his medical training. "When Jacob first embarked on his aspirations of having a medical degree, we knew at some point we wanted to show a day in his life," she explained. "In this episode, we step away from our usual environs of the village and head to the hospital. This episode takes place entirely on our purpose-built hospital set. Accident and emergency is a place many of our characters end up in, but seldom by choice. The episode will air on Thursday, January 2 on ITV1 and ITVX, offering viewers a glimpse into Jacob's challenging first day in A&E. With its mix of drama, tension, and emotional moments, this episode promises to be an unforgettable addition to Emmerdale's New Year storyline. Will Jacob learn from his mistakes and become a better medical professional? Will Sarah and Jacob's chemistry lead to a romance? The fate of these characters will be revealed in the upcoming episodes of Emmerdale. Stay tuned.